Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Good day. Welcome to Fusion Mobile e-learning class. My name is Bolaji. I'm here to teach you a topic called Quadratic Equations, and we are going to be dealing with the subject mathematics. Quadratic equation. We have different types of equations. We've solved simultaneous linear equations. We have algebraic equations, which is also called simple equations. We have a quadratic equations. We have exponential equations. But these quadratic equations can be solved by using three methods. Also, first method is called factorization method. Method to solve quadratic equation. We have 1, factorization method. We have 2, completing the square method. We have 3, quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Now the first method, which is called factorization, we remember during our junior secondary school where we taught what is called common factors, prime factors, and these are the knowledge we are going to apply in this. Factorization, which involves knowing the factors of a number, the common factors of a number, which is defined as the number that can divide a number without remainder. That is called common factors. So also we use this formula here. We use the idea of these common factors to know which of the equation satisfy a quadratic expression. Now, what is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation that satisfies an expression of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is an equation that satisfies this expression ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now, x squared is the coefficient of a, and a, b, and c are numerous. A, b, and c are numerous. And the highest power of x is 2, which satisfy a quadratic expression. Now, let me give you an example that involves a factorization method. An example that involves a factorization method using factorization method. Consider this example: x squared plus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. This is a quadratic expression. Quadratic expression because the power of x is 2. The power of x is 2. We satisfy ax squared, and the coefficient of x squared is 1. We said that a, b, c are numerous, and this is 1, this is 6, this is plus 8. How do we solve this question using a factorization method? Firstly, we have to find that the value of x squared multiplied with 8. That is, the first step to solve this is the coefficient of x squared is 1. 1 times 8. 1 times 8. Because of the value of x, we have to find 1 times 8, which is equal to 8. Find the factors of 8 to replace 6x. Find the factors of 8 to replace 6x. That will enable us to find the value of x using a factorization method. 1 times 8 equal to x equal to 8. We have to find the factors of 8 to replace 6x. Find the factors of 8 to replace 6x. What are the factors of 8 to replace 6x? Plus 2 and 4. Plus 2 and plus 4. Minus 2 and minus 4. 1 minus 1 and minus 8. Now, these are the factors of 8. But we have to know their sum, because their sum must replace 6x. Plus 2 and plus 4, minus 2 and minus 4, minus 1 and minus 8. These are the factors of 8. Also, 1 and 8 are factors of 8. But their sum will it give us 6x. Therefore, 2x plus 4x is equal to 6x. So this factor satisfies this equation to replace 6x. Therefore, x squared plus 2x plus 4x plus 8 is equal to 0. Plus 2 and plus 4 satisfy the factors of 8 to replace 6x. That is why we call it factorization method. That is the factors of c, that is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, which satisfy this equation, x squared plus 6x plus 8 equal to 0. Therefore, let us proceed by factorizing this equation. The next step is to factorize this equation. How do we factorize this equation? What is common between x squared and this? Because we can have this value here, we can have this value here. We have x, which is common between this and this, x bracket to x plus 2, plus what is common between 4x and this? We have what? 4 bracket into x plus 2 equal to 0. Now, from this equation, we discovered that factorization can be used because x bracket x plus 2 is common, x squared plus 2x. They have one thing in common, which is x. X is common between x squared plus 2x. Here also, 4x plus 8, what is common is 4. Therefore, they have the same value in their brackets. We have x plus 4 equal to 0 and x plus 2 equal to 0. These equations are proving that it is factorizable. How? Because the factors of 8 are these, and their sum replace 6x. And that is called factorization method. How do we now find our x? X plus 4 equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0. Therefore, x plus 4 equal to 0, and our x is equal to, when this plus 4 cross the equality sign, it turns to minus. We have x equal to minus 4. Here also we have x plus 2 equal to 0, and x cross the equality sign and turn to minus. Our x is equal to minus 2. Our x is equal to minus 4, and our x is equal to minus 2. Using a factorization method. I'm confident that you understand the word factorization, because that was the word we used in our junior secondary school to find the common factors of any number, or relating it to a quadratic equation. In this equation that I solved, we discovered that the factors of 8 are plus 2 and plus 4, minus 2 and minus 4, minus 1 and minus 8, 1 and 8. But the factors that will replace 6x is what we use, and this factor is plus 2x plus 4x, which replace 6x accurately, and we factorize the equation. After finding the factors of 8, which are these, find their sum that can replace this. That's the second step. The third step, you factorize. After the factorization, you equate it to be equal to 0. Our x is equal to minus 4, and our x is equal to minus 2. That is factorization method. I am confident that you understand this simple analogy of using factorization method to solve a quadratic equation. I would like you to solve this evaluation so as to know how far we have gone in this quadratic equation. Wow, thank you, because you really understood this quadratic equation. You can see it's good for somebody to have full knowledge and understanding about factorization method. Factorization method is one of the simplest methods to solve a quadratic equation. Let's proceed by using another method which is called completing the square method. Completing the square method. Thank you. I believe you have solved these questions, and I am confident that you understood the first method. This second method is very easy for us to solve, to use and solve few questions ahead concerning quadratic equations. And this method is called completing the square method. Completing the square method. The equation on the board, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is an expressions that show a quadratic equations. For example, let us consider number, because I told you that a, b, and c are called numerous. Because of what? They can be numerous. 1 can be here, 2 can be here, 3 can be here, and the c, which is called constant term. Constant term. In quadratic equation, c symbolize constant term. Let's consider these questions where we have given that 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Given that 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Use completing the square method. Now, I want you to listen carefully to understand the steps. The first step to use a completing the square method is, the first step is you divide the coefficient of x squared. Divide the coefficient of x squared all through the equation. That is, first step, divide the coefficients of x squared all through the equation. All through the equation. That is 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. This divided by 2. This divided by 2. This divided by 2 equal to 0. The coefficient of x squared is 2. Divide 2 all through. Therefore, 2 divided by 2, we have x squared plus 3x over 2 minus 2 divided by 2, 2 here 1, 2 here 1, minus 1 equal to 0. Now, the next step is that we transfer the constant term to the what? To the right hand side. We transfer the constant term to the what? To our right hand side. Because as you are sitting, you know that your right hand side is this. So we transfer our constant term to the right hand side. Now, we have x squared plus 3x over 2 minus 1 equal to 0. Therefore, x squared plus 3x over 2 equal to 1. We transfer our constant term, which is minus 1, equal to 0. What is the next step that we have to take? The next step is that we make sure that both the left hand side and the right hand side, we make it a perfect square. We make it what? A perfect square. How do we make our what? Our right hand side a perfect square and our left hand side a perfect square? The thing we have to do is that we are going to add the square of the half of 3 over 2. What is the square of the half of 3 over 2? That is x squared plus 3 over 2x plus 3 over 4 all square equal to 1 plus 3 over 4 all square. How do we get this? Is that our 3 over 2, we are going to square the half of this coefficient of x and make it a perfect square and add it to both sides. That is 3 over 4 square equal to 1 plus 3 over 4 square. How do we find this answer? This answer shows that x squared plus 3 over 2x plus 9 over 16 equal to 1 plus 9 over 16. We have made our right hand side to be a perfect square. We have made our right hand side to be a perfect square. Also, this side we have added the perfect square to this side, to the constant term. Now, we have to factorize. Remember our first step, where we have an equations that we use factorization. We are going to factorize also this equation in this place. But before we factorize our equation, we have to make sure that we solve this equation here. 1 plus 9 over 16. The step we are going to take is take the LCM. Take LCM of the this number. That is 1 over 1 plus 9 over 16. Or we look for the LCM of 1 and 16, which is 16. How many 1 can we see in 16? 16 times 1. 16 plus 16 divided by 16, 1. 1 plus 9, we have 9. We have 25 over 16. So in this, our right hand side, where you are sitting, you discover that we have 25 over 16. In our left hand side, we have this. We have to factorize these equations, because that's the next step we are going to take to solve for the value of x. Let us continue. Therefore, we have x plus 3 over 2, that is square, x plus 9 over 16 equal to 25 over 16. Now, when we factorize this equation, we are going to equate it with this. How do we get this answer? Is by making this equation, by factorizing these equations and equating it to 25 over 16. By factorization method, we have x plus 3 over 4x all square equal to 25 over 16. Equal to 25 over 16. Equal to 25 over 16. Sorry, when we equate x plus 3 over 4 square equal to 25 over 16, as factorize this equation. Because x squared plus 3x over 2 plus 9 over 16, when we factorize it, we are going to have x plus 3 over 4 squared. If you open this bracket, it's going to give us x squared plus 3 over 2x plus 9 over 16. Therefore, our x is equal to, you have to remove this square. You want to remove this square to find the value of x. We are going to find that x plus 3 over 4 equal to root plus or minus 25 over 16. How do I get plus or minus root 25 over 16. How do I get it? Because the square here must be removed to find the value of x. We are looking for x. We are making x the subject of the formula. Remember our change of subject when we are solving simple equations. Now, x is equal to 3 minus 3 over 4 plus or minus root of 25 is 5 over 4. Root of 16 is what? 4. How do we find this minus 3? Because x will cross the equality sign and come and meet this place and cross the equality sign and come and meet plus or minus. And it has turned to minus 3 over 4 plus or minus 5 over 4, which is the same thing as minus 3 over minus 3. Let us consider minus 3 minus 5 over 4, or minus 3 plus 5 over 4. How do we get minus 3 minus 5 over 4? We first consider minus, because we said plus or minus. We first consider minus 3 minus 5 over 4. We now consider plus minus 3 plus 5 over 4 to find the value of x, because we are looking for two values of x in quadratic equations. Now, minus 3 minus 5 will give us minus 8 over 4, or minus 3 plus 5 will give us plus 2 over 4. 4 here 1, 4 here 2. We now have minus 2, or 2 here 1, 2 here 2, half. Therefore, our x is equal to minus 2 or half. Minus 2 or half. This is a completing the square method. I am confident that you understood the step I took. Each of the steps matter a lot, because when we find the coefficient of x, we divide the coefficient of x squared all through. Remember the equation, that is 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. The first step we took, we divide 2 all through, where we have x squared plus 3x over 2 minus 1. Then the next step we took, we transfer the minus 1 to the other side, cross the equality side, and turn to 1. The next step we took is that we make 3 over 2 a perfect square and add it to both sides, both the left hand side and our right hand side. After which we find the LCM in our right hand side to make sure that the answer is factorizable at the left hand side. After our factorization, we discover that we have x plus 3 over 4 all square equal to 25 over 16. And how do we find our x? I said plus 3 over 4 cross the equality sign and turn to minus, where we have minus 3 over 4 plus or minus 5 over 3. How do I get 5 over 4? Sorry. Root of 25 is 5. Root of 16 is 4. Because I say plus or minus, because of this square, it has root. When you remove this square to root this side, to find x as the subject of the formula. Therefore, we first consider minus. This minus 5 is this minus here. Minus 3 minus 5 divided by 4. They have the same denominator. Therefore, we have minus 3 minus 5 will give us minus 8 over 4. Minus 8 divided by 4 will give us minus 2. Or minus 3 plus 5 over 4. Minus 3 plus 5 is plus 2 over 4. And plus 2 over 4, it gives us 1 over 2. Therefore, this completing the square method gives us two answers of x, and the x are minus 2 or half. I'm confident that you understood this completing the square method. I would like to give you an evaluation that will give you a guidelines whenever you see a quadratic equations and they ask you to use completing the square method. It will help you a lot. Wow, thank you. I am confident that you have solved the equations using a completing the square method. Let us proceed by using the last method. And this method has been well known and recognized throughout the world. Sometimes in few secondary school they call it almighty formula. Some call it quadratic formula. In few textbooks we call it quadratic formula. I would like us to use a quadratic formula. Most of the students like quadratic formula instead of factorization and completing the square method. Quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. How do we use quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equations? Let me give you an example of a quadratic equation where we have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. These are expressions that show a quadratic equation. How did this show a quadratic equation? I've told you earlier on that when you have a coefficient of x, that is, we have coefficient of x to be a, we have another coefficient of x here to be b. For the coefficient of x squared, the power of x is 2 here. It carries 2. This is an expression of a quadratic equations. Then ax squared plus bx plus c, c is the constant term, equal to 0. So how do we solve? How do we find the value of any quadratic equation using the quadratic formula? Now, to prove the quadratic formula, here we are. The first step we have to know is that we have to divide a all through, because the coefficient of ax squared is a. The first step you do, divide all through the coefficients of a, that is ax squared over a plus bx over a plus c over a equal to 0. That is, the first step is that we divide a all through equal to 0. Now, thereafter we have a cancel a here. We have x squared plus bx over a plus c over a equal to 0. Therefore, x squared plus bx over a is equal to minus c over a. How do we have minus c over a? We transfer our constant term of c over a, cross the equality sign and turn to minus c over a. The next step we have to hold on is that we have to make our left hand side of the equation a perfect square. Completing the square method and quadratic formula follow the same pattern. But the pattern of quadratic formula is different. We have to prove our formula, and that is what we are doing. Make our left hand side of the equation a perfect square. How do we make it a perfect square? Here we are. How do we make it a perfect square? Is that we are going to add the square of half of this coefficient of x. The coefficient of this x here is b over a. Therefore, a x squared plus b over a plus, that is, b over 2a all square equal to minus c over a plus b over 2a all square. We want to make our left hand side to be a perfect square. Once we make it a perfect square, we add it to our right hand side. Remember where you are sitting, this is your right hand side and this is our left hand side. But we have to make our left hand side to be a perfect square by adding the square of of the coefficient of this a here. That is, add 2a, then square it. 2a, remember, as I've told you, add the square of the coefficients of this b over a, which is 2a, bracket, square, making it a perfect square, and add it to the constant term. Therefore, we have x squared plus b squared over 4a squared equal to minus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Now, we have to find our LCM, because if we do not find our LCM, we are not going to have the value of our x squared. As I've told you, by the time we find the LCM of our right hand side, we factorize our left hand side. We factorize our left hand side. That is, we have s squared plus b squared over 4a squared equal to minus c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. This is the equation we are going to arrive at. Now, factorize these equations. When we factorize these equations, then we equate it with this. We now have s squared plus b over 2a all square equal to minus c over a plus b square over 4a squared. Now, we factorize these equations. How do we factorize this equation? Because s squared plus b squared over 4a squared. When we factorize it, we have this. When we square it back, we're going to have these equations. Find the LCM of a and 4a squared. By the time we find the LCM of a and 4a squared, we result into this equation it is x plus b over 2a square equal to minus c over a plus b square over 4a square. Find the LCM of 4a square and a will result into 4a square. 4a square, here we have how many this are we going to find in 4a square? How many here are we going to find 4a square? Will result into what is called 4a. 4a. 4a times this, we have minus 4ac. Minus 4ac. How do we have minus 4ac? How do we have minus 4ac? This 4a square divided by a is going to give us 4a times a over a. A cancel a here, we have 4a. 4a times minus c will give us minus 4ac. Good. Minus 4ac. How many 4a square are we going to have in 4a square? We have 1. Then 1 times b square we have plus b square. So this is the result of finding the LCM of this equation. Therefore, when we have this, we have s squared plus b over 2a all square equal to b square minus 4ac over 4a square. This is the formula. How do we result? We have minus 4ac, which is being shown, minus 4ac, then b square minus 4ac, which is this minus a, over 4a square. Then how do we find our a? How do we find our x? By making it the subject of the formula. X is equal to minus b over 2a. This plus b will cross the equality sign, plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac over 4a square. Minus b over 2a plus or minus root b square minus 4ac over 4a square. We can proceed because we have root this our right hand side. How do we find our right answer? By root b square minus 4ac over a square. If we root this side, we are going to have what is called minus b over 2a plus or minus root minus b. Remember, here has turned to b square. So we have b square minus 4ac over 2a, because we have root 4a square. The root of 4a square will give us 2a, which is our x. X is equal to minus b over 2a plus or minus root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Because they have the same denominator with this, therefore our x is equal to minus b all over plus or minus root b square minus 4ac all over 2a, because they have the same denominator. That is why we said minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac over 2a. This equation has been proven to be a quadratic formula. A quadratic formula is equal to x is equal to minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Has been proven so that anytime we want to apply a quadratic formula, we insert the value. Remember, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 are satisfy a quadratic equations. Where we prove our formula, x is equal to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a as the quadratic formula. Remember, I told you a, b, c are numerals. They are numbers. Now, let's insert numbers to this value to find our formula. Let's consider equations using a quadratic formula. Solve 2x squared minus 4x 2x squared minus 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Solve 2x squared minus 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Use quadratic formula. Use quadratic formula. Solve 2x squared minus 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Use quadratic formula. Solution. Remember, 2x squared minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. This expression is a quadratic equations where we can use our quadratic formula. And what is this quadratic formula? Remember, we proved that x is equal to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This is a quadratic formula. This is a quadratic formula. What is our a? What is our b? Remember, the formula for a quadratic equation, a quadratic expression where we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This has satisfied the equation of this. What is our a? Our a is equal to 2. Our b is equal to minus 4. Our c is equal to minus 3. Our a is equal to 2. Our b is equal to 4. Our c is equal to minus 3. This expression is a quadratic equation. I told you a, b, c are numerals, and this has shown from this expression that they are numeral. This is our b minus 4. This is our a 2. This is our c minus 3. Let us substitute our value into it. Substitute our value into this point. We have that x is equal to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X is equal to minus b, we have minus 4, plus or minus root. What is our b squared? Our b is minus 4, which is minus 4 all square minus 4. What is our a? Our a is 2 times, what is our c? Minus 3. Over, what is our a? Our a is 2, which is 2 times 2. Therefore, we have that x is equal to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This is the formula that satisfies a quadratic formula so as to solve a quadratic equation. What is our a? What is our b? What is our c? Our a, earlier on I told you, is 2. Our b is minus 4. Our c is minus 3. Substitute the value of these above numerals to a quadratic formula. Our b is minus 4 plus or minus root. What is b? Minus 4 squared minus 4 times 2. Our a is 2 times minus 3. We now have x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus 4 times minus 4 square. It means minus times minus, which is plus. 4 square will give us 16 minus 4 times 2, which is minus 8, times minus 3 will give us plus 24. All over 4. 2 times 2 will give us 4. How do we get 4? Because our a is equal to 2. That's why we substitute the value of 2 inside. So x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus root root 16 plus 24, root 16 plus 24, root 16 plus 24 over 4, where we have 4 here. Remember, we have minus 4 plus or minus root 16 plus 24 all over 4. Therefore, x is equal to minus 4 plus or minus 16 plus 24 will give us 40 all over 4. Root 40, 16 plus 24 will give us 40 over 4. X is equal to minus 4 plus or minus root 40 is 6.3. 6.3. Therefore, we have 6.3 over 4, which is equal to minus 4 minus 6.3 over 4, or minus 4 plus 6.3 over 4. So these equations show us that we first consider minus 4 minus 6.3 over 4, or minus 4 plus 6.3 over 4. Therefore, x is equal to minus 4 minus 6.3 will give us minus 10.3 over 4, or minus 4 plus 6.3, which will give us 2.3 over 4. Our x is equal to minus 10.3 over 4, or 2.3 over 4. In this quadratic formula, we find out that we have two x value. We can have fractions. As we said, we can have fractions in our answer. We have 2.3 over 4. We have 10.3 over 4. So x value is minus 10.3 over 4 or 2.3 over 4. I'm confident that you understand quadratic equations using these three methods: factorization method, completing the square method, and quadratic formula. I'll give you few evaluations to solve to see how far we have gone in this topic. Oh wow, thank you. I'm so much happy. I have a confidence that you can solve few questions ahead. With this, we have come to the end of the quadratic equations. Thank you.